It's always funny seeing your face while I'm just playing around in the background looking at the faces at you. And you're going, and you're with it. Oh, wait, no, we're live. Okay.
Welcome to the class, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Paranormal Tech 101, where we have teamed up with our good friends right over there at Paranormal Electronics Ltd. out of the UK and now North America, where we get together, we talk about all of the ins and outs of paranormal equipment, best things to use, best practices, how they work, things and such like that. Those are words. Thank you to everybody who watched last week's episode, where we got to dive into all of the goodness of EMF and the Detectors, our favorite band of all time. But today we're actually going to be talking about EVPs and audio tech, because I know, at least for myself and some of the people that I've been with, quite possibly for you as well, most of what we catch in the paranormal world is audio. We don't catch so much visual, but it's mainly audio. So that's why we're here today, kids.
No.
Oh Lord. Sorry for not having a show on Sunday. Crazy day. Paranormal hangover is a thing. I was dragging some major booty all day, and it was very difficult to try to muster the energy to get out and do a show. But this Sunday, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, because it's Father's Day, we are not doing a show. Go spend time with your fathers or the father figures in your life. Even if they're not great, still show them love, still show them support, because they're turds and they still need it. All right. So, with that being said, let's talk about audio. Let's talk about EVPs. What is an EVP? He's frozen with joy.
Got ya.
You are a... Okay, go ahead.
So EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. Hang on. Right, back in. Yeah, so EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. Sorry about my voice tonight, guys. He literally just took the mick out of my voice there, because I had my COVID shot this week. And I sound really, really, really different. So I do apologize. I will try and drink as much as I can.
I will say that you do still sound British, so you have that going for you.
Hard not to sound British.
The COVID shot did not take that from you.
No, I mean the only thing that would make me sound more British is if I had a cup of tea in my hand and had a scone. You know what I mean? And I was on about the Queen all the time.
Oh, you know? Jesus.
What? All
right, thanks for coming and hanging out, guys. It's been a great show.
But okay, wait. Oh, yeah. So EVP stands for electronic voice phenomenon. Its voices are really points to voices that we capture on electronics. So obviously on a voice recorder is a little bit more sensitive than our ears, hence why we tend to capture more stuff on it. And the reason for that is very, 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 very technical, but I will try and make it as easy as possible for everybody to understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, I could go on about radio waves and gigahertz and stuff, and I'm not going to do that. You know, you guys have Christmas coming up in December, and you know I really don't want to bother you with that. But sound is on many different levels. I'll say it like that. And obviously, the sound that we hear is tuned by our ears about what sounds we can hear. A EVP recorder is a bit more sensitive, so it will detect a lot more. And spirits are supposed to create more vibrations in a different wavelength to what our sound, what our ears can detect. And that's why there are different types of EVP recorders and capture devices out there. and that's why sometimes you have a really low EVP because maybe the microphone that's picking it up isn't as sensitive as some of the more sensitive ones when they all sound just like a normal person speaking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I've gotten as well on some stuff, we caught a crazy. I'm gonna call it an EVP, but it wasn't actually a voice. We caught a ghost train. Now, what does that mean? Well, where we were was there used to be a train track right behind this cemetery. Used to. All right. Now, anybody who's ever lived in a town that has had a train go through it, how long does it take for a train to go through a town? It takes more than 4 seconds, correct?
I don't live near a town. Train track next to it.
Okay.
But I'd
For
imagine
everybody
so,
at home,
yeah.
it takes longer than that. And legally, at least in the United States, legally, you have to blow the horn the entire time that you're going through the town. Now, we caught about a 4-second clip of what sounds like a train going over tracks and one horn blow. One.
Whoa.
So EVPs or I guess just electronic audio phenomena. Let's just call it that for right now. Because we've got bangs that we didn't hear with our ears, but have caught back on audio. Like there's so many different levels to what is going on a, I don't know the technicals, but I'm going to use the word frequency, on a different frequency than what our ears can pick up. And for some reason, this electronic equipment is able to do that. And it's astonishing some of the stuff that you can actually get that, I mean, you're an investigator. You get somebody saying a name, before you even, like in a cemetery, get somebody's last name and then walk up on a grave or two that have that last name on it.
Yeah, absolutely. There are occasions, yes, you can have things live in your ear on that wavelength or that frequency, and you get something, I don't know what that means. Next thing, you walk up on it and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And similarly, you can be talking about something during investigation, and it's really quiet one. You've been there 10 hours, nothing's happened. But in the middle of the investigation, you've been talking about a certain person, certain building, certain area. And then when you review back all the audio afterwards, you get this little thing that's in the background that says exactly what you've been talking about.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you talk about anything you want to. And for some reason, I guess the spirits are like, you're not talking to me. I thought that's where you were here. So they butt in. And it's awesome.
Absolutely. And this is why sometimes you can hear it with your ears. I think they try and shout so loud. And it's probably like they've got a megaphone in your ear, but all you hear is a little whisper. And yes, that's why sometimes we can hear things with the audio of our own ears and capture that.
Yeah. I'm shocked, like some of the stuff that you can pick up with audio equipment. And we're not just, when we're talking about this, guys, what we're talking about in this episode is not just a voice recorder. There are a ton of different things that you can use to find sound. And we're not just talking EVPs either. That's why it says audio tech, because there's a lot of different pieces of audio phenomena that happen that are not EVPs. So that's kind of what this episode is going to be here tonight, is going to be way more than just EVPs. But there's a lot of stuff that happens that you need corroboration on that happen out there in the field. And that's why it's good to know exactly what to reach for in your satchel of paranormal goodies. With that being said, let's dive into some of those paranormal goodies, right? Oh no. So obviously a voice recorder. Go into the functionality of a voice recorder and potentially what you need to be using alongside that in such an instance.
Absolutely. So the basic functionality of your voice recorder is obviously to record and to store files. But using it in a very controlled manner. as well if you want to have the scientific way of doing it and not the run around screaming and calling yourself Doris way. Sorry, that's random, I know. So it all depends on what you want on the EVP recorder, whether or not you want it to be as basic and as cheap as you want it, which means you'll press the record button, it will play, it will record, sorry, it will stop when you press stop, and it will pick up on some EVPs, but it won't be able to reduce the background noise on it. It will just record whatever it is. And then you can go all the way up to the most, I'm going to call them sensitive and elaborate ones made by the well-known brands out there, such as Zoom and people like that. And you have everything in between, which is really, really weird because everybody seems to be making their own version of an EVP recorder or anything like that these days without actually giving too much on specs and how it compares to certain different ones. So I suppose this is what we're going to do here tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
Absolutely. We got anybody else?
We're not calling names. We're not calling names, but we're gonna talk about what to look for.
Hey, can I say hello to a few people?
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, I mean, hello, Snowman. I like Snowman. That's a real good name.
Oh, he's a good dude.
Just Keisha, then Alicia's Haunted Adventures. Oh, I like that one.
Yep.
That really sounds like...
So Keisha is my girlfriend and paranormal investigative partner. Allie, or Alyssa, is actually her 12-year-old daughter.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got Bigfoot Anonymous in the house. I love Bigfoot Anonymous. Connor is freaking awesome. Sarah from Sydney.
Sydney. Wow.
Yep.
I got Tamara. I would just go to Sydney just to go look at it, but also do some investigating. Why not?
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
We got in Australia as well. Sorry.
Yeah. We've got Tony from Haunted Expeditions, who we were out at that investigation on Saturday with.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've got some people coming in and saying hi. That's awesome. We're glad to have everybody here. As always, we're always glad that you're here because good people show up and hang out. That's what good people do.
Oh, John Christie is requesting a shout out to your new friend.
Okay, I don't know who. Okay. Hi.
You were just about to say you don't have any friends.
I mean, I do. It's Keisha.
The way you were like, I've got friends.
Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him. Hi, John Christie. I hope you're doing delightful. I hope you're doing fine and dandy. I hope it's a hard candy Christmas. I met her yesterday. Okay. Apparently I met somebody named Christy yesterday.
Of course you did.
Who did I meet named Christy? Oh, never mind. Okay, hi Christy. How's it going? Had lunch with her. Completely forgot. What's up?
Wow.
Oh, I need an adult.
That's almost as bad as going home and the girlfriend, your girlfriend or my wife would go, hi. And you go, who are you?
What?
When did you start living here?
There she is, Christy Hughes. No, I remember you now, okay? I remember. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, Christy. Jeez.
Should we skip this? Can we carry on?
Let's dive back in. Jesus. That hurt my brain for a minute.
Maybe the guys on the chat can let us know what EVP recorder you use.
Yes.
What sort of type you use while we're running through it. And then obviously we can get to your EVP recorder and maybe give an honest review on it, whether or not we feel it's an amazing one, or whether or not we feel there's a product out that's not going to be too much more expensive or going to be much more of an upgrade for yourself to be able to capture more.
Exactly.
Boom.
So, guys, all caps. Any questions? All caps of what recorder you use. All caps. Any questions you have about EVPs and any kind of audio tech or detectors or anything like that that's out there. Just ask your questions. That's the point of this show, for all of us to learn. So, yeah. So let's dive into. Obviously, you've got schools of people that go back to the old analog way of doing it, using tapes and things like that. And then you've got people that are more into the digital realm. What are the benefits of each one?
Okay, so I've obviously come along the paranormal field, went through the digital age. I personally have to put my hand up and say I've not used a tape or cassette recorder, but I have worked with people that have done in the past, and they've told me their honest opinion between the two. Now, they have found that back in the old days, when you use a cassette recorder or tape recorder, whatever you want to call it there, that they've found that a lot of the tapes could become corrupt. And obviously they're a lot easier to break, but also the fact that they can pick the spot a little bit more off that, but they found it very hard to analyze it more than just, playing the tape through and through. But on the flip side, the guy also said that he found more voice phenomenon on the tape than he did the digital recorders. So
part of me is not surprised.
No, absolutely not.
Because there's no restrictors on those. They are strictly just a record and go. Like there's no gain, there's no cutting out anything on the back end. Like there's none of that stuff. It's just raw.
Absolutely. And do you know what? I've got to try it one day. I really do.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I said, I'm a techie, so I'm just like, that age, so to speak, into that era. But it is true. You build an EVP recorder. Not only do you have to think about the microphone, but the circuitry behind it and all the resistors and everything like that go into it actually will dumb down the sound a little bit. And it is also very true that with a digital one, and you obviously put it into your analyzers, whether or not it's Audio City or whatever you want to call it, or similar, and clean it up, you can make your own EVP out of it, so to speak, when it wasn't even there to begin with. So, and you can't get that with a tape recording because it is just what it is.
Yeah. Exactly. So obviously, with as we were talking about with analog and with digital, they do function. Their functionality is a little different. The way they record, obviously, because a digital recorder, you can plug it up, you can put a micro SD in it, whatever, and get all of that stuff off of it. But also, the way people do voice recorders now, because a lot of people that are out there making these recorders, they're gearing them more towards like musicians and things like that. So they're trying to cut out a lot of that background noise. The problem with that is there's a ton of goodies, EVPs. I'm just going to go back to calling it an EAP, electronic audio phenomena. There are a ton of those that are in the background and in that kind of like fuzzy gray area that you're trying to cut out. But that doesn't mean that they're not good. They are good. They have very sensitive microphones. It's a catch-22. I would almost love to see something made that functioned as both. That's what I would love to see, is something that did both of those at the same time. Because it'd be really good to be able to match them up and kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm thinking. Yes, I know. I just gave you an insane idea, and I'm sorry.
No,
I did it again.
All I can think of is Frankenstein's child at that
point. Wow, that's ugly, but it gets great evidence.
There's some ideas you give me, and I go, "Wow, I have to go and do that." And there's some that you're going to give me, which I think I've certainly put that on the one where is the list where I never ever try it.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to tell you
ones
which one
that
I'm going to go on.
the attempt would give you a stroke. No, I get it.
Where would you get the tapes nowadays?
Very expensive off of eBay or Amazon.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, one thing we do miss, though, is the controlled recording between the two, because you see a lot of people now, they'll hold their recorder in their hand and they'll ask questions. And of course, you get all the movement from the person as well as the voices clear. In the old days, because the tape recorders was just so heavy, they would put them on the side and leave them and then press record.
Yeah. And
So
that's something that I would love to see more often, even with these digital recorders. I know they're small enough to hold in your hand, but you're now causing anything, because if you don't remember, walking in a certain thing and you catch a footstep, or if you don't remember, maybe like moving your arm and you're wearing a windbreaker and it causes this weird rub that sounds like a hiss, like. And I would love to see more stationary stuff. I think I can agree on that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean the best EVPs I've had is where I put my Zoom recorder in a bit of a room with a camera, a REM pod, everything like that, and left it.
Yeah. And
if I've wanted to talk, what I've done is I've put a walkie-talkie in the same room, and I've spoken walkie-talkie, and I've asked the questions there. That's been my best results from EVP.
That's genius. And see, Tony says, I always place mine down when I am asking or when I'm using either of mine, which is good. Yeah. That's good. That's what we were talking about. That's good. But there are other audio detection devices that are on the market that are something that help kind of make you recognize that there is sound happening. Maybe in a visual way, maybe in an auditory way, something like that. And I know that you have some devices yourselves in your system. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, one that we've talked about before on the show, which is, the plasma, because it has that sound option on there, which will help it show that, hey, there's sound occurring.
Yeah, that was my senior moment then. I was like, what pitch do I have for that? So yeah, indeed, the plasma and the Infinity speaker both work in the same way in that respect. The plasma disc obviously is loved, I must say, loved by Patrick.
Yeah. He's got that pocket plasma with him all the time.
Oh, do you know what? I was speaking to him on the phone the other day and he was just like, can you send me more? Yeah.
I think his son plays with them a lot. That's probably why.
Yeah, indeed. So they're reactive to sounds in respect of when it hears something, it will light up, which is a very good indicator. But I would say if you're going to use that, put an EVP recorder next to it. Absolutely. Exactly. And guys, when you are putting your EVP recorder somewhere, everyone always goes, yeah, I'll leave it on its own. But I've always found if you put it on something soft, not on a hard surface, put it on something soft that you can levitate it off. It's probably the wrong word. Elevate it. There we go. Elevate the speakers off the ground. So obviously you don't have the interference of a bounce voice, so to speak, is what I would put it, a reflective voice.
Well, it could also, it's a dampener. It's a dampener.
Yeah, because if you tick somewhere in a room, or you click your finger, it will vibrate and it will bounce off of things. And if you have that microphone elevated slightly, then obviously it won't pick that up. It will only pick up an actual voice or an indication, so to speak.
So Tony said that she's going to have to get one of those pocket plasmas.
Tony,
how many times do I have to tell you? Ignore whatever your husband says and go spend as much money as you want. All right, so Barbara saying, hi, Sparks. Hey, Barbara, how's it going, girl? I hope you're doing well.
The wife wasn't listening. That's great. I'll be broke in a week.
I'm broke now. So So there are
Sorry,
so many
guys.
devices out there that can be used to register sound. What are some other ones that are really good to potentially put in your arsenal for going out and doing some investigating and looking for audio?
Wow. To be fair, not many people have made devices where it just detects sound and then goes off, or creates a buzz or a light. So that is something which obviously will increase over the next couple of years. We've got one in the pipeline as well, which is great. But obviously, if you look at detect audio, I would always just go for an EVP recorder anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Plasma disc is always good. Infinity speaker, once again, works on the same principle where it will react to sound. So plug your EVP recorder into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it will obviously react to the sound. And it just make a massive speaker as well in that respect. But if you're looking for voices, we all know the age-old PSP7s and ghost boxes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And using the white noise for potential spirits to and radio to speak through. Sorry, did I? Oh, got a bit of a choke there.
Oh Lord.
Come through. And actually, guys, people always give these things a bad rap. But spirit boxes, we call them, or ghost boxes, or
Mm-hmm.
scanning radios, they're actually a very good tool if used in the correct way and interpreted the correct way. Myself, I do have the new PSP7. I have a PSP11 as well, which I don't massively rate as a. I don't see it as an upgrade. It's more of the same two things stuck together, and I can do that myself. To be fair,
Yeah,
um,
I've heard some interesting things about how the SB11 is not necessary for anything. That if you can buy an SB7, just stick with it.
yeah. I attempted to do a bit of investigating with that by having one sweeping forward, one sweeping backwards at different rates and same rates and everything like that. And I'm just thinking, if they're going to speak through white noise, they're going to speak through white noise. And why would you
Yeah.
confuse it by not knowing which one it's just spoke to?
Yeah.
Which is that. We're actually doing the new spirit box ourselves, which everybody knows will be out very soon as well.
Mhm.
Which is more of one where it won't detect radio as well, which is brilliant. But
That's
yeah, the
awesome.
PSP7 is always going to be picking up little bits and pieces of radios, and I've seen teams go, "Did you hear that spirit voice?" You're like, "No. That was Lou on the 4 show or something like that." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, we've caught stuff like that. We've used the spirit box by one of your competitors. I'm sorry to say, but it's true. And
Which
we're not going to mention any names, but it sounds a lot like a most bop. And let's put it this way: it is so effective that I was able to listen to Zach Brown Band. So that was good. That was good.
Yeah. I had one of those in my hand the other day. Actually, a customer brought theirs in and bought a PSP7 instead. And he said, "Do you want to have a little look at it?" And I had a look at it. And to be fair, it's a very well engineered product. Very good feel to it when you've got it in your hand, but it completely overdone and doesn't really rule out any of the stuff that's bad with spare boxes.
To me, it's just a radio.
It is. That's what it is.
It's just a radio. But you know, and you guys, if you guys have seen me do anything, in my investigations and things like that, you've heard me talk about this guy right here, the Necrophonic app, which is another way to get in touch with spirits. There's a lot of apps out there that make you want to ask questions and make you want to wonder if it is legit. But I will say this: what made me believe is the fact that I was able to make contact with my own dead father through this app. So, and he died long before this app was even a concept. So it's very interesting to me. There are a ton of different ways to make that contact, you know, and to carry on conversations with spirits. But what we're going to talk about in next week's episode, I just hit my mic. In next week's episode, is we're actually going to be taking a deep dive into applications, phone applications. So you guys are definitely going to want to be here for that. But when we're talking about what we're talking about tonight, that is probably the only phone app that I would recommend at all to anyone who is looking to do any kind of paranormal research or anything like that, because it's not free, for one, and two, it doesn't update. If it updated, I would have questions. So, but I mean, you've got ghost boxes, spirit boxes, all kinds of stuff like that are out there. But I think to start out, I would agree with you that we probably just need to stick with a voice recorder. But you could even just use your phone. The mic on your phone is incredibly sensitive. You wouldn't recommend that?
Should we touch on that next week?
All right. Okay.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind going on that one now because obviously it is a voice recording, so to speak. So on the Necrophonics app, I believe I know a number of groups that do rate it and use it as an investigation tool. So if you obviously you recommend it, and that's
yeah.
Obviously
that's a personal thing.
Indeed. I very much made my opinion very, very clear on all apps on my videos, on my page and stuff. And I've got to say, I'm yet to be swayed perfectly to one side to say that one's absolutely outstandingly perfect. But let's go for let's go for the phone there. See, there's a lot of coding involved in digital phones and apps and devices like that isn't put into a normal voice recorder. Okay, and there's a lot of data that's on your phone, which how can I and you store that data, and sometimes that data can be transferred 50 times over, put in the space of a minute inside your phone, and then that can become a different file, so to speak. I've had people play me an EVP from their phone, and I've listened to it, and I've gone possibly. I think more it's better and more evidential if you've got that separate thing. So I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying that personally, I like having a separate device to put it on.
I mean, I would agree, but if you are broke and cannot afford a recording device,
go for it.
That's a great place to start, because I've told people numerous times when I started investigating, this was it. I had this, a flashlight, and a K2.
Absolutely. And that's it. That's all you need. EMF, EVP, and somehow that you can see your way around.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are doing lives now for video, like lives on their phones and stuff now as well. So, I mean, the quality of phones come up in the last few years anyway, and I'm sure it will continue to get better. And I'm sure one day there'll be something that convinces me that using that sort of device is correct, and we'll all have a Merry Christmas.
On in Scotland, I got a voice on the Necrophiliacs app. That sounds disturbing. I'm hoping that's what they meant. Otherwise, I've got some questions. And on another team's device, it told me to F off in a Scottish accent, and the person that owned the app visited from Wales. Well, I mean, it kind of goes with what I was saying. You could pick up stuff. You can. And then Sarah is asking, she means the Ovilus. And you guys are working on your own Para-Ovilus right now.
We've already got our Para-Ovilus out. Absolutely.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
And I would say that's another one to kind of look into. Do I think it's 100% necessary? I don't, but it is something that would be cool to play with, for
Indeed,
sure.
indeed.
And
I'll be honest.
you guys have taken the obelisk to a different level, which is pretty good, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean we've had to write the coding from base up. You know, we couldn't copy any coding from any previous devices that's been out there. And we've definitely made sure that in that coding is nothing to do with random word generation, other than on our tests. I did a test coding, and I made sure it did some random word generation so that I could see that it works from different files. And I uploaded that to somebody's obelisk the other day, and they messaged me going, "John, it's going crazy in my hand, and it's coming out the same words every time." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Send it back." But yeah, so all the random word generations is out of R1, and it is good to see the audio and visual, because not always, you know that on investigation. And the other advantage for that is you will get a live response, which is something you can't always get. Now, the only thing you get live responses for normally is if you have a parabolic ear, they call it, the big dome thing that people use.
Yep, the old spy audio gun.
That,
the old spy gun.
Which is a very good starter again. It doesn't record, but it's a very good starter for you to know about sensitivity. And if you have someone at the table that's got one of those while you're talking, then actually you're going to get that live response. But if you want one that records at the same time, you're looking towards like the Zoom H1, which if you get the end version is brilliant.
Zoom does a phenomenal job with their stuff.
Absolutely.
You just got to have a little cheddar to throw at it.
Certain ones, yes. I mean, there is the H1N Zoom, which is what we offer on our store. I've used the H1, the H3, the H5. None of them are any better than each other. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking at a Zoom recorder, don't look any further than the H1N, because the other two, although they're amazing products, obviously, because they're made by an amazing company, if you're looking for what you get for your bucks, definitely just go for the H1N and don't go for the 3 or the 5. But they're like
Fake Jason, who works out with Patrick, sometimes works with New Reality and those guys. And he definitely wants the obelisk. $500 is a problem. Money is always something that none of us have as paranormal investigators.
Well, the reason why, the reason why it's priced at that for us at 375, one, because it costs us over 25 grand to do the research and development on it. 2, we're the only ones in the UK that can offer it. And 3, it takes a lot of time to actually get the whole device ready, and it takes a team member at least half a day to do it properly, and then the testing that goes into it afterwards. You probably talk about a day's work goes into it before even making sure that the battery is even in correct order.
So Sarah Claire asking, if you took necrophonic to a non-English speaking country, would it work? I will say this, Sarah. When we were in Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, we actually caught what sounded like Keisha's listening. She was the one that actually had the headphones on at the time, so she could tell you exactly what she was hearing, but it sounded, for what she was saying, something like Arabic that was actually coming through, which made a lot of sense for the time period, because even back then they still had doctors coming over from the Middle East. So it is possible. I think for sure it would still work, just based off of the fact that we've caught foreign languages here on U.S. soil. So
if it's a true app, it should do any language.
Yeah.
If it's true to what it is and not an actual pre kind of programmed in one that's going to spit out ones, and because it's on your device, it's going to look at what sort of voice it's had before on it. Then if it's not that, then it should be any language, any country, any planet.
Yeah. Says, wow, cool. Here we go. Keisha chiming in here. I've heard Arabic, Latin, Spanish, and Cherokee. So
Cherokee. Cool.
Cherokee Indian. Yeah. So
do you know what? I know a bit of Arabic, Latin, and Spanish. I don't know any Cherokee.
Well, Keisha's actually been teaching herself Cherokee because that is the main tribe that is in the area where we are. So trying to be able to carry on conversations, and
cool.
possibly understand stuff a little bit better. And then Tony's saying need a good pair of noise canceling headphones. Absolutely. I find I've got 2 different pairs of noise canceling headphones, and I use them religiously, not just in investigations, but also for editing and evidence review. Like there's a fan going on right next to me and I can't hear it. So
electronic one. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got
Misa, man. No,
Corinne saying hi, how's it going? Thanks for coming and hanging out. Looking to buy the paranormal music box like Patrick has, loved using it at Mackey Mansion. Talk to us about this music box. Talk to us about this.
Right, I've got to try and think which ones Patrick got now. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Paratunes. There we go. I think that's what he's got. So the Paratunes, guys, that one there has a 6 to 8 meter range on a 360 sensor that we've got inside there. So it's not PIR like everyone else uses. There's a different sensor that's inside that's not been used in the paranormal field before. That there creates a massive, massive bubble. And if anything enters that bubble, and then the lights around the bottom of it will light up and it will play the lullaby tune, which is very, very creepy. Excuse me. Very, very creepy, I've got to say. So creepy that my employees have had me with it in the office a couple of times. But that there is taking an old concept which somebody else is kind of looked at, where they've got the analog tunes player and we've put it digitally, which is what obviously all the field's going to. So, yeah. So we're obviously creating the next generation of equipment. So that was the things there. And to be fair, guys, like I said, I'm an investigator, so I'm not always going to believe everything that comes up, but I have to say that the results that's been getting with the Paratunes is just amazing. And I say it about all the stuff that we make, I suppose, but I used it myself on a recent investigation, a very, very spooky house in Hull. And we were downstairs, it was upstairs, so far out of range, and it was going off. People say to me, why'd you put lights on it as well? And I'm like, because, you know, if you put lights and sound, then somebody's going to see this gone off.
Haunted Scotland apparently has been buying from you for a long time, and they really love your stuff. So that's awesome. And Keisha wanted to give you a little Cherokee that you can use. It's Osio, which is hello in Cherokee.
Is that Osio or Osio?
Yes.
Osio. Do you know what? That makes perfectly sense, though. Like, it's like I see you, but it's Osio.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did they use some Cherokee, and they changed some Cherokee for Avatar?
English. Oh yeah, they did. They took a lot of notes from native languages. Sarah Claire.
English just got butchered by the Americans.
Well, it's because we don't speak English; we speak American. Yo hablo americano. So Sarah is asking, after an adventure and you didn't pick up voices, but later you picked it up, did you freak out? I don't ever freak out. I just get excited.
I think I freakishly get excited. I think that's the one there.
Yeah. Freak out with joy.
Biggest one I've had is I was at a place called Nunny, down the road from me. Now, obviously, I mean nothing to anybody that's not from the UK or in the south of England. and there's a castle there that was owned by the French.
Mm-hmm.
And it was built by a Frenchman. It was great, garrisoned by French soldiers, i.e., just after 1066 and stuff here. But in the Civil War, it got blown up. Basically, well, half of it did anyway.
Wow.
So we're there doing an investigation in it, and I talk French because I'm thinking, hey, let's try and see what layers we can get through. So I've done my English stuff. I start talking French, don't hear anything. And I'm thinking, no, that's fine. Very quiet night. Nothing else happened. I've really about the EVP, and all I've just gone is Je m'appelle Jean, j'habite dans un Swindon,
No.
and it's actually replied to me in French and gone, "Hi John, I live here. This was the home I built." In French. And trust me, that was after about 10 hours of EVP. Of EVP playbacks, and I've
once again, perfect example of why it's good to learn other languages, because you never know who you can make contact with. But yeah, Keisha says
beers in many languages. Then,
yep, American language. Amen. We don't use the A at the beginning. It's silent. It's America. And then.
Do you know what? And I'm sorry for getting onto the American language thing. We call our path, we walk on the path. No, it has to be a bit more simple for you guys. Sidewalk. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean sidewalk. Yeah, because it's on the side and you walk on it. Sidewalk.
Yeah, I love that. Steering wheel. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, here's another great example. Corinne saying pavement. It's called asphalt. That's what we call it. We just call it asphalt. And then let's see here.
Why did you put it tarmac?
I mean, the tarmac is what the plane lands on. And then you've got love history of our England. What do you use to make it all inclusive for different languages? Well, that's kind of what we've been talking about. If it is a real piece of audio equipment and a real audio detector or electronic audio phenomena, then it doesn't matter. It's going to pick up foreign languages anyway. We're not trying to create something that's going to transfer it into English, because I mean, Google Translate will do that for you.
There's only one device at the moment which will be difficult for other languages, and the Ovilus device there. We have the languages on there in French, Spanish, Italian as well, because they're all the base languages, as well as English, for most derogatories of the language. I'll put it like that. So they are on the word banks. We just need to do the update to activate them.
Haunted Scotland got an EVP Sunday night saying goodbye in Scots Gaelic. That is awesome. I want to hear that.
I want to know I want to know how you say that. Robbie, can you pop that up?
Yes, do that. And especially if it may sound slightly like offensive language, I really want to know. Let's see here.
Robbie,
did you go back for more conversation in French?
I did. I did the whole investigation in French after that. And I got so many different responses, as well as equipment going off, guys. And I'm not going to talk French now because I've got a bad voice and I don't want to embarrass the French by a stupid Englishman talking French. But
well, imagine an American country boy doing it. That would just probably frustrate them more than anything. I don't want it. Marcin Liat?
Marcin Lee.
Okay.
Or if you say Scottish, Marcin Lee.
with just a touch of whiskey on the back end. So let's see here. It's okay. Everybody drinks alcohol unless they're horrible people or children. And then, well, I think children would actually qualify as horrible people, so we're fine. So then, Old Dominion Paranormal Research. Hey guys, what's up?
Hey guys. So
here we go. Here's another language difference here for you. Sorry, I got it backwards. The bonnet is the hood of the car, and then the boot is the trunk. So that's what we call it here in America. We call it the hood and the trunk.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, we always just say pop the bonnet, but you say pop the hood, and I quite like to pop the hood more because that sounds like you know, you have that straight 28 engine and that goes 2 miles an hour, so it's fine.
Might as well be driving a smart car with its 3 horsepower.
Oh.
Here we go. Keisha, with her own children in the house. I concur with the children's statement. So, children are horrible people. All right. So,
you know, as I'm trained to look over the shoulder first.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start wrapping this up. But there's big news. Big news. John, what just dropped 3 days ago on your store? What happened?
So
what happened?
The power beacon is finally for sale, guys. Absolutely. So the first version of the power beacon is out, which is the temperature and the vibration, which is actually, we had 20 of them on the shelf. I think we've got 2 left of them now. So guys, if you want to put your order in very, very quickly for that. We are building more as fast as we can because obviously we're having to supply both stores with them, both the UK and the North American. And guys, some news. Keep watching our Facebook page over the next 3 days. I am hoping to show you on Father's Day the working prototype of the version 3 of our SLS. Yeah.
Here we go. Perfect example of what your store does to people. Or is it right here? I'm tempted to max out my credit card. Just do it. Don't talk about it, be about it. All right. So
I would never discourage you from it.
I won't either. But guys, if you want to see how that beacon works, the very first episode of this, he actually does a demonstration of how that beacon functions. So you definitely want to go check it out and get ready because they have more ideas for beacons coming out. All right. You want to have a collector's set. You want to have a collector's set signed by John and his team. And then you also want to have one that you actually take out into the field. So
do you know we actually do inside of every product? Not many people know it, but the person that builds the product does sign it.
All right, never mind then. There you go.
No, we do it so that we can get the quality there. Obviously, if one gets returned for any reason, then we know who's built it, so we know who to take out the back and shoot. But also, so that
we don't believe in murder. We believe in maiming. There's a difference.
Yeah, shoot in the shoulder. Why did you think dead? I'm not a Nazi.
we take off one of the dispendable appendages.
Yeah. Heat himself back up.
Oh, by the way, Sarah Claire, I don't have a credit card. Get one. All right. So
you know what? If you don't have a credit card and you're from the UK, guys, you can actually buy with Klarna. And Klarna is a facility where you don't have to have the money right now. You can pay over 3 months, or you can pay in 30 days. So you can go anything up to £1,000 with no credit check. Anything over £1,000 will obviously carry a credit check there.
Keisha, Klarna also works in America, so I'm going to start buying beacons.
You know what? The new V3 is only going to be $299.95. Okay, guys. The difference between the SLSs that we've done previously to the new V3 is, and I will tell you, there is no need for a tablet. Oh, and we've made sure that we've increased the night vision capabilities. Boom. And I'm just about I'm about to add something else on there, but the runtime on the actual new SLS looks to be in the region of around about 10 hours with obviously micro USB charging still.
Yeah, that's freaking fantastic, man. I love that. Haunted Scotland is saying that it's worth maxing out a credit card. I agree. Then they say, shoot James, he's expendable. And then Cassie says, what is the music box called again? It's called the Paratunes, correct?
Paratunes, yes, absolutely. Paratunes. If you are on our website, go to the Ghost Hunting Equipment tab, and then it will be on our sensors or audio, or there is actually a thing that's got Paranormal Electronics Ltd, and everything that we make on site ourselves is.
If you look in the chat, I just put it in the chat.
Absolutely,
right there.
Paratunes. There we go.
Paratunes. And there's a lot of stuff that you guys have, and you know, I talk about it every week, and I don't care. I'm just going to keep saying it. I think it's fantastic. You guys are making it at a price point that makes sense for people in the paranormal community. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
And guys, while you're out there and you're digging through his stuff and you're following Paranormal Electronics everywhere, the TikTok, the Instagrams, the Facey Space, all of that goodness, you're going to the websites, you're looking at that stuff, you're going to find other people that are in the paranormal community. You are. It just happens. I mean, that may be how you found me, was just digging through stuff. I appreciate you for finding me. Thanks for hanging out. You're such good people. But when you find people that are out there in the paranormal community, make sure that you're following. You're giving them likes, comments, subscribes, all of that goodness. Okay? Because we're all out here for the same reason. We're all out here to find evidence, to bring a more validity to what it is that we do in parapsychology and paranormal research. So make sure you show that support, guys. Also, if you want more information about what it is that happens on Sparks of the Paranormal as a channel, you guys can find me on Instagram, the TikToks, and the Facey Space at Sparks of the Paranormal. Also, if you would like to give to the show, if you would like to give to the channel, maybe support us so we can bring you guys better and better content, we've got a merch store. We've also got a PayPal link down there if you guys just want to throw money at us because you don't like anything that I've created to give you. Yeah, I mean, you can give money. That's what you do. Sarah, start a credit card, buy one of every piece of my merch, and then go over to the Paranormal Electronics store and spend all of that. Okay, that's how that works. But that's going to help us to bring better and better content to you guys. We really appreciate you all so much. Thanks for coming and hanging out. But most importantly, guys, make sure that you are ready for next week because we are going to be tackling a very, very, very important topic, and that is applications on phones. And based off of his reaction, we're going to be punching them directly in the face.
Ding, ding.
Like a straight shot to the screen protector.
Boom.
We're going to shatter that screen protector. But, guys, get rocked.
I'm still being... I laughed. Yes, I was at my desk today, and I still laughed at a comment you made 2 weeks ago about a hobo with a ham sandwich.
A hobo on a ham sandwich. That's right. Yeah.
I was eating a ham sandwich, and I just went, "Oh my god, John!"
I mean, I've got so many phrases like that, like I'd be all over it like a hobo on a ham sandwich, be all over it like stink on poo, be all over it like white on rice, like stuff like that. But
you know what? We should get. I can direct you to a site where you can actually design t-shirts for those on, guys. Would you buy any of those if John had these t-shirts up on a site that you could buy direct from.
I will, if you guys do it, I will put hobo on a ham sandwich on a shirt and put it on my merch site.
Boom! There we go. Gotta be done now.
Mainly, I've got paranormal related stuff, but I think that would be. Oh, there we go. Like seagulls on French fries. That's another good one. That's good. Corinne is in with the hobo on a ham sandwich. So I think what I need to do is I need to find somebody that can actually draw something for me and draw like a hobo with a ham sandwich, like going in for the kill. And I think that would be great. We can do that. But guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. This has been great. Get ready for next week. And we are not having an interview show this Sunday because it is Father's Day. So go spend it with your families. All right. Go ahead and take that time. If your father is not with you anymore, then you have my love. You have my support. You have my prayers, because it's going to be a difficult day. All right. Well, that being said, guys, happy Father's Day. Get out of here, crazy kids. Go find some dead people and go talk to them and use some equipment and catch their responses. John, anything else?
How can I respond to that? Yeah. See you next week.
We'll see you next week, kids. All right, guys.